Alrighty, lovely. Well, welcome everybody to How PubMed Works, an introduction. My name is Nick Vera, and with me today is April Hobbs. We are both from the network of the National Library of Medicine out of Region 2. With me today is also Rebecca Brown from the NNLM Training Office, who will be monitoring our chat and will be sharing links. So this webinar is the first in a series of 3 about PubMed. It's designed to give you a tour and introduction to PubMed's features. PubMed is a free online tool provided by the National Library of Medicine, also known as NLM. NLM is one of the National Institutes of Health, and it's funded by U.S. tax dollars. PubMed is one of the largest and most comprehensive databases of biomedical journal literature in the world, and we're here to show you how it all works. So let's take a look at our agenda for today. We'll start with an introduction to PubMed database, what it is and what's in it. Then we'll explore PubMed features together and discover how to accomplish some of the most common PubMed tasks. Finally, we'll look at how to get help and some additional training resources. At the end of today's session, you'll get a link to the evaluation, and I'll provide more information about claiming continuing education credit for the Medical Library Association. So let's talk about PubMed. PubMed is the National Library of Medicine's free authoritative database of more than 38 million citations for articles in the fields of biomedicine and health, with a specific focus on collecting original scientific research. It's used by over 3 million unique users each day, including clinicians, researchers, students, librarians, and more. So what are some of the ways you can use PubMed? You can use it to find a specific research article based on some known information you have about the article. You can use PubMed to find articles written by a particular author. You can use PubMed to familiarize yourself with the topic, and because of its vast scope, you can also take a deep dive into a wide variety of topics. PubMed even has a patient education handouts. I'll show you how to add that filter later this hour. So users frequently ask, does PubMed have full text articles? Great question. PubMed is a database of citations, not a database of full text articles. Nearly 75% of PubMed citations include links to full text. And if you look at articles published in just the last 10 years, almost 95% provide full text links. But there's a difference between full text and free full text. Some of the links may take you to the publisher's site, which may require a subscription or a one-time fee. When a publisher provides free full-text access, that link will be included in PubMed. And when available, PubMed includes links to full text from PubMed Central, also known as PMC. PMC is NLM's free full-text repository. PMC was created in response to the NIH public access policy that was adopted by the United States Congress in 2009. The policy says that any publications that come out of research supported by as an NIH grant must be made available to the public for free. So if someone asked you if PubMed was a database or free full text articles, what would you say? Yes or no? Let me know in the chat. Right on, Brenda. All right, love it. So the answer we teach in this class is no. PubMed is a database of citations to articles. Full text in PubMed is not always available or free. Rebecca is going to share a link to a fact sheet in the chat box that talks about the relationship between PubMed, Medline, and PMC. It's also on your handout. So next, let's talk about how to use PubMed and some of the built-in features. One of the most common ways PubMed is used is to locate a specific article based on some known information you have about the article. Say you come across a news story like the one on the slide. This is a 2019 story from National Public Radio, reporting on research that shows that the common treatment for asthma may not be as effective as previously believed. The online version of this article had a convenient link back to the original research, but that's not always the case. You might see an article listed in the references section of a paper, or hear about research on the news or social media. So let's see if we can track this article down. So what do we know about original research and the article referenced in this news story? I've highlighted the clues on this slide. So what we know, it was published in the New England Journal of Medicine. The NPR story was from 2019, so it's probably an article published in 2019. And the lead author is Stephen Lazarus, a pulmonologist at the University of California, San Francisco. Honestly, just this little bit of information should be enough for us to find the article very easily in PubMed. So let's go into PubMed and see what we find. And I will hand that over to April.
All right. All right, so we are on pubmed.gov. If you can, open another browser window and work along with me. Otherwise, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. One of the key design features of PubMed are the sensors that are built into the search box, and that is sensors with an S. PubMed search sensors analyze your search terms and try to detect exactly what you're looking for. If we enter the information we have, in this case, the author's last name, the abbreviation for the journal, and the year, PubMed citation sensor should detect that we entered some basic citation information and will help us find the article we're looking for. So, if you're following along, go ahead and type Lazarus NEJM 2019 into the PubMed search box and click search. This is also search example A on your handout. So now we're looking at the search results page, which PubMed calls the summary view. Notice towards the top, we see a message in a blue alert bar, 3 articles found by citation matching. PubMed citation sensor uses a fuzzy matching algorithm to find citations that might be a match for the article we're looking for. In this case, PubMed thinks that one of these top 3 articles might be a match. We see that the second article has all 3 pieces of information that we put into the search box. The author's name, New England Journal of Medicine, and it's from 2019. PubMed also runs our search normally and gives us an alternative set of results, just in case we were actually trying to find something else. We'll look at the rest of what's on the results page in a bit, but for now, I'm going to click the second result from our example to look at the citation in more detail. So now we're in what PubMed calls the abstract view for our article. We have some basic citation information at the top. When you hover your mouse over the journal title abbreviation, the full title will display, as you can see in this little box that pops up. We see the date, volume, issue, and page number range as well. To the left of the journal title, we have a tag that indicates the type of article this is. In this case, the article reports on the results of a randomized controlled trial. Not every type of article will have a tag, but PubMed highlights commonly looked for publication types, such as reviews, clinical trials, or a case report. Below that, we have the article title in a larger font. Immediately to the right of the title, you'll find the links to the full text of the article, or if you're using a smaller screen like a phone, this link will be below the title. The citation has a link to the publisher's website, and it also has a link to a free copy of the article in PubMed Central. You might also see a library's icon. If your library participates in library link out using outside tools, it'll be located here. Below the title, you can see the author information. The list can be very long with hundreds of authors and collaborators. We can expand the author information and institutional affiliations by clicking the plus sign next to expand. To collapse this list, you can click on the minus sign. Below the list of authors, you see the PMID, or the PubMed identifier. This is a unique number, and every citation in PubMed has one. And this is also the answer to number 1 on your handout. So number 1 on your handout says, What is the unique number for a PubMed citation called? Hint, all citations in PubMed have one. It's the PubMed identifier, or PMID. If you have the PMID, you can always find the citation by typing the number into the search box and clicking search. But do not include the letters PMID. If you do, PubMed won't find the citation. So remember, only enter the number found to the right of the colon, this one. You can also enter multiple PMIDs at the same time, just separate them with a space. Directly below the PMID, we have the abstract, which tells you what the article is about. Most articles have an abstract, which is provided by the publisher. PubMed displays what the publisher provides. If the publisher does not provide an abstract, PubMed does not create one. Notice on the right, it says page navigation. This is an easy way to jump between sections on this page without scrolling. Similar articles is a popular feature. Let's take a look. Similar articles is a list generated by an algorithm based on terms from the abstract, the title, and the medical subject headings. It's designed to bring in other PubMed citations that are similar to the one you're looking at. By default, 5 articles are displayed, but you can click on See All Similar Articles for more. We are sharing a link in chat about how PubMed identifies similar articles, which is also on your handout. There may also be a list of articles that cite the article you're looking at. Cited by is generated using data submitted by publishers and from NCBI resources when available. Cited by may not be a complete list of works citing a particular item. I'm curious about what other interesting things you see here in the abstract view. Let me know in the chat box. Mesh terms, yes, that's great. References, grant funding, a DOI, copyright. Great, I'm going to be covering most of those things as we go on today. Rebecca, are there any questions so far?
Yeah, good timing. Since stay on this page if you would. There was a question, I think it was from Jana, asks, can you get a list of similar articles with the ability to mark them from a list? So, well, if you click on that link that said see all similar articles, if you would do that. Now you can use all the features, you could select all those results and send to whatever, collections, email. So is that does that answer your question, Jana? Wonderful, she says. So I guess we did, yes. So that's it. And that was the only question.
Okay, fantastic. We'll also go over that in a little bit too. I'm going to click on the PubMed logo on the top left to go back to the PubMed homepage. Just remember that is always a way back. We'll return to explore some of the other features in the abstract view soon. Now let's talk about author searching in PubMed. One of the most frequent tasks users do in PubMed is to try and find all publications by a specific author. Searching by author can be tricky. In PubMed, multiple authors might have the same name. For example, there are over 300 AHOBs in PubMed. Or one author might publish under different names. There are a few techniques you can use to help find articles by the author you want. The most effective way to search is to use the author's last name and initials, and you can use up to 2 initials in PubMed. Using only the author's first initial will run the most comprehensive search. There's no need to tag, capitalize, or punctuate. Just enter the last name, then a space, then the initials. For example, if you're looking for articles by Stephen Lazarus, the author from our earlier example and a pulmonologist at the University of California in San Francisco, you would enter his initials, a space, and then his first initial. We will recommend this format instead of using the author's full name, even if you know it, because not all PubMed records include full author names. PubMed only began accepting full names in 2002, and not all publishers supply the full name. So, searching the full name may cause you to miss some results. We can go into greater detail about author searching in the automatic term mapping session of this class on June 25th, if you're interested in learning more. So, if you're following along, go ahead and type Lazarus, S, in the PubMed search box and click Search. I do Lazarus SC, and that brings, and this also search example will be on your handout. As you can see in the results, we have a number of articles by SC Lazarus that show his name bolded. Remember, he's a pulmonologist, and we see some titles that reflect that. That's one clue we can use to determine whether we have the right author. So let's click on the second result to see if this is one of his publications. Where can I look on this page to find out this author's affiliation? If you know, tell me in the chat. All right. Number next to their name, they expand, hover over the name, affiliation, all really good. Right, we can also expand the affiliations section and see the author affiliation in this list at number 2. Right there. You can also hover over the number to the right of the author's name. The affiliation name will display. From here, if we want to find more citations by our author, PubMed has a feature we can use called Computed Author Sort. It's quite easy to use. While you are in the abstract view, you should click the author's name, in this case, Stephen C. Lazarus, and watch how PubMed works. Now we see a list of articles by Stephen Lazarus. Notice the alert at the top of the page. It says results are displayed in a computed author sort order. And the article we clicked on is number 1 on the list. So what is computed author sort? Because an author may have the same name as other authors, the objective of this feature is to display additional relevant results by an author. When you click on an author's name from within a citation, the author name disambiguation process kicks in and compares citations with the same author name. It looks at the similarity of co-authors, journal titles, article titles, affiliation, words from the abstract, mesh terms, grants, and publication date. The articles that are most likely to be by your author show up at the top of the list. The best practice for using the computed author sort feature is to pull up any PubMed citation in the abstract view that you believe is by your author. Select their name from the abstract view, as we just did for Stephen Lazarus. PubMed will then run this specialized algorithm and cluster the results for your author toward the top of a new summary view. And that's how computed author sort works. We are sharing a link in chat with more information, and it's also on your handout. Okay, if you are following along on the handout, question number 2 asks, which PubMed view, summary, abstract, PubMed, PMID, do you need to be in to get the computed author sort message to appear? The answer to number 2 is abstract. You can pull up any PubMed citation abstract view and click on an author's name to see articles most likely to be by that author. Rebecca, is there anything we need to address in the chat box?
Nope. Somebody was very happy that you don't have to tag an author's name in order to find an author. So that's all.
Yes, that is fantastic. We've looked at 2 ways to search for authors, by last name and initials, and using computed author sort from an abstract view of a known article by a specific author. Let's get back to our PubMed homepage. We're going to shift gears now and talk about keyword searching, which is another common use case for PubMed. Maybe you're researching a topic that you don't know much about and want to familiarize yourself with it, or maybe you're doing a deep dive into a particular subject. Either way, PubMed has a few features that make it easy for you to just type what you're looking for into the search box and retrieve relevant results. One of the features is called Best Match Sort Order, and it's the default sort used in PubMed. Why is this? Based on PubMed analytics and usage statistics, the overwhelming majority of users only look at the first few results of their search, and rarely, if ever, go past the first page. So a main goal of PubMed development is to make sure the best, most relevant, and current research shows up right at the top. We call it Best Match, and it's a machine learning algorithm that places the most relevant citations based on your search terms at the top of your results. It's also the answer to number 3 on your handout. Best Match is a machine learning algorithm that matches your search terms to the PubMed records in your results based on the article title, subject terms, and abstract, and displays them by rank with the most relevant results appearing at the top. Let me show you an example of this in action. I am going to search for caregiver burden Alzheimer's. This is also example C on your handout. Okay, we got a little over 1,800 results. Notice on the top right, under the blue search button, results are sorted by best match. The first 2 article titles were published in 2022. I can change this by clicking on the chevron and sort by most recent. Notice how the search results change. Now the first 2 articles are articles that were both published in 2025. I'm showing you this so you can see how Best Match just sorts your results. It still has the same number of results. We are sharing a link that explains the algorithm behind the Best Match sort. It's also on your handout. The bottom line is that regardless of which sort order you apply, you are working with the same set of results from your search. In addition, the development of PubMed has focused on taking simple keyword searches and translating them into more elaborate, comprehensive searches. PubMed calls this automatic term mapping. Okay, so PubMed has built-in tools designed to enable you to do a broad search and then to refine it by using filters. So let's do a search for acid reflux. This is a search example D from your handout. No tags, no quotation marks. I don't even need to know the proper scientific name for acid reflux. Just put your keywords in the search box and click search. That basic search gave us a bunch of search results, over 45,000. In the center of the page, we have our list of results in summary view, which includes some key information for each article, such as the article title, authors, journal information, and the PMID, as well as if the article is available for free in PubMed Central. Your search terms are bolded in the results. Notice that some bolded words are not words researched. We'll get to why that is in a minute. First, one of the things I want to point out are all the ways you can repurpose or share these results. Each result has a cite button, which lets you grab a properly formatted citation in several different formats. You can copy and paste or download the citation to your computer to import into your citation management software, and the citation downloads as a .nbib file. Nbib file is a PubMed bibliographic citation info file. You can download this file and export into citation management software programs. You can also change the citation format on the right-hand side, and there is other formats like MLA, APA, and AMA. There's also a share button that provides a permanent link back to the citation. You can also share to social media. Above your search results, there are also options to save, email, and send. You can use the Save feature to save citations to your computer. First, click the checkboxes of the citations you wish to save. I'll select the first 3 on this page as an example. Then I'm going to click Save. And you can download the citations in a variety of formats. So PubMed, PMID, Abstract, or CSV. You can also download the entire page of results all at once or your entire results set, though this can result in some very large files. So I can do all results or all results on this page. You can also email results using the email button at the top of the page. The subject line is not customizable. The email is sent with the search terms and PubMed in the subject. Another feature is the Send To button. It provides several more options, such as sending to clipboard, my bibliography, collections, and citation manager. I also want to point out the sort display to the right of these options. You can sort by most recent, best match, publication date, first author, or journal. Just below the search box, there's a button to create an alert for a specific search. Create an alert saves the search to your MyNCBI account. When you save a search, PubMed automatically emails new results as they become available or on whatever schedule you choose. Basically, you can do research while you sleep by setting up alerts. This takes you to the login page. To use this feature, you have to log in to MyNCBI, or you can create a free account. If you don't have a MyNCBI account, we encourage you to get one because in addition to creating alerts, MyNCBI lets you save collections of citations for yourself or to share with others. You can create an account through multiple third-party options, including Google, login.gov, ERA Commons, even your institution. There are literally thousands of organizations. We are also sharing a link in chat about saving and managing searches in MyNCBI. It's also on your handout. Finally, Create RSS creates a feed to a search. You can use this link with your feed reader or other application. Are there any questions?
No questions. And on my list of links, I don't have that details about saving and emailing. So I'm going to grab that link in just a moment and put it in chat. I don't see it on the handout either. So,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Sorry about that.
Details. That's okay.
Yeah. Okay, to review, the 5 ways to repurpose your results are cite, share, save, results with a choice of formats, email, and create an alert. This is also number 4 on your handout. Now, let's switch gears and talk a bit about how to narrow these search results to a more specific subset. We have a nice big number with our acid reflux search, but unless you are doing a thorough literature review, you'll probably want a smaller number of results. Filters on the left side of the results page are an effective way to limit your results. So first, we have the results by year graph. This provides a nice way to visualize trends in research because you can see when publications on a particular topic increase or decrease over time. To make using the results by year graph a little easier, you can expand the graph by clicking the expand or collapse timeline icon, which is the square you see right here with 2 outward pointing arrows. And you can filter your results based on publication date by dragging the handles on each graph inward. Each side of the graph can drag inward that way. You can also reset the graph at any time, as I've just done. You can also shrink the slide back to the left menu by clicking that expand collapse timeline icon again. You can also download a CSV file of the citation counts by year. This does not include the actual citations, just the numerical results by year. Publication date is another filter option. Many people like to limit searches to the past 5 years, and you can also create your own custom date range. Next, we have text availability. By selecting one of the checkboxes, you can restrict your search results to only articles that have links to free full text, or only those with abstracts. Here, we have the associated data filter, which limits results to articles that link to more data, such as through clinicaltrials.gov or midlandplus.gov. The article type filter restricts your results to specific article types. Some of these, like clinical trial and randomized controlled trial, are study designs and can help you find specific types of research articles. This is customizable, and there are a lot more article types. We're looking at just the default article types right now. There are also quite a few more filters. If you don't see what you want in the default filters, you can view more here. For example, say I wanted to find patient education articles on acid reflux in Spanish. As I mentioned, article type lists many publication types beyond what is in the default view. I'm going to add patient education handout from the article type filters. Now I'm only seeing articles that are patient education. Then I'm going to hop over to article language and select Spanish. This further restricts my search to patient education handouts written in Spanish. Using just these two filters, I now have 4 results out of an initial 44,000. You can also clear filters at the top of the page, which is under this green alert. It says clear all. You can also reset filters, which is the same as clearing them, by using the reset button at the bottom of the filter menu, right here. Any questions about filters before I move on?
Nothing in chat at this point. No.
All right.
Oh, hold on. Our patient handouts Medline Plus. So why don't you go ahead and re-click those filters? I don't think those are from Medline Plus. If you would click on patient handout, which should be back up there. Once you, yeah, and then spam, and any one of these. So look, that one comes from, those come from JAMA, the top 2. Go ahead and, if you don't mind, clicking on Spanish, and let's see if that, what kind of results we get. So definitely not Medline Plus, but and I don't know what that journal is, but so the answer is no, Marcia. A lot do come from JAMA. I've seen that quite a bit. Thanks,
Yes.
April.
No problem. Thank you. Now I want to show,
I'm sorry, a late breaking question, so I thought maybe before we get too far. Let's see, question about author affiliation. Are they reflecting the author's current affiliation or the organization they were at the time the research was published? And it's when it was published. Yeah, so PubMed does not keep up with authors, you know, their comings and goings and their possible name changes. It's just whatever the publisher submits for a particular citation. Oh, and then Janice said American Family Physician has a patient handout in every issue too. So depending on the topic, there are other, you know, possibly other patient handouts. Yeah, we definitely didn't look at anything comprehensive. So I hope that answered your question, Brenda. And thanks, Jana. All right.
any other questions?
Not at this point.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Now I want to show you the Advanced Search Builder, which is located on the Advanced Search page. You can find the Advanced link underneath the search box on any PubMed page. The Advanced Search Builder will let you search specific fields of a record. You can also build more complex searches here. So I'm going to click on Advanced. You can use the builder to find articles from a specific journal, even if you're not sure of the journal's exact name. Use the field selector to select journal, and then start typing the name of the journal. The auto-suggest feature will suggest journal names that exist in the database, and you can choose the one you want. For example, if you're trying to find the New England Journal of Medicine, just select Journal from the drop-down menu and start typing New England. This is example E on your handout. The auto-suggest feature will kick in. If you want all citations from that journal, you will click Add to add it to your query box. From here, I could run my search, but I can also add it to my search history, which is a cool trick if you don't want to immediately see the search results. I'm going to do that here because I want to show you the history and search details. So I'm going to click on the little chevron by search and click Add to History. As we scroll down this page, we see the History and Search Details section. This section keeps track of the searches you've run and lets you jump back to the results for any of those searches. Your history is retained for up to 8 hours of inactivity. If you want to keep track of your history for longer than that, there's a download feature you can use. You can also combine previous searches here using the 3 dots menu under Actions. This adds the search to the query box above the history and search details, and you can edit and search directly from this query box. So I want to combine acid reflux and the NEJM search string. And I can also clear this. So if you're working along with me, let's locate the original search for acid reflux like I just did. Add query. Click the right-facing chevron in the details column. Which shows you search details under here. Search details will show you how PubMed interpreted your search. For our acid reflux example here, you can see that PubMed is also searching for the term gastroesophageal reflux, in addition to our term acid reflux. What this means is, even if we don't know the medical term for acid reflux, PubMed knows and maps our keywords to the official medical subject heading or mesh term when one exists. PubMed looks for any citations with the medical subject heading along with the original term, acid reflux. This is why we saw the terms, gastroesophageal reflux bolded on the results page for our acid reflux search, because gastroesophageal reflux is the official medical subject heading for acid reflux. Our simple keyword search for acid reflux included gastroesophageal reflux thanks to automatic term mapping. I've got something for you to try. I want you to search nosebleed, which is example F on your handout, and tell me in the chat what it says or maps to in the search details. I'll give you about a minute or two to do that. Oh, thank you, Jana. Epistaxis. That is correct. Nosebleed maps to epistaxis. So if I type in nosebleed here, there you go. So when you think about how PubMed works, know that your search terms are examined using PubMed's automatic term mapping feature, and search details shows you what PubMed did. Search details is your best friend, and when it comes to PubMed, and can explain a lot. So there you go. All right, now let's go back to the main page. Remember, you can always get back to a clean page through the PubMed logo. And if you see here, it's on the right side of the advanced search page. And just a fun fact, the advanced search builder page is the only PubMed page with the logo on the right. Let's show you one more thing, the user guide. So there's a link to user guide under the logo on the advanced search page. All right, before we wrap up, I want to show you a few more things from PubMed.gov that are below the fold on the home page. Learn has the facts and user guide, which is comprehensive and should answer any question you have. Find links directly to advanced search and 2 other beloved PubMed features, clinical queries and single citation matcher. Download includes information on eUtilities API, which is a 9 server-side program that provides a stable interface into the Entrust query and database system at the National Center for Biotechnology Information. You can also download PubMed data in XML format using the FTP link. Batch Citation Matcher is also located here for any PubMed Power users out there. Finally, explore links to the MESH database and Journals database. MESH is the database of medical subject headings. Journals goes to the NLM catalog. You can search journals referenced in the NCBI databases or link to journals currently indexed in Medline or journals currently deposited in PubMed Central. Medical subject headings, MESH database, and PubMed Central are also linked on the bottom of every PubMed page. So if you scroll even further down the home page, you'll see the trending articles section on the left. Just like many social media trending features, this section highlights articles that have had a recent uptick in user activity. It showcases articles that aren't necessarily the newest, but have had a sudden increase in interest. Now, PubMed Updates is a new feature. You can see all the latest details about PubMed in this section. If you can't figure out how to do something or where to find a feature using the facts or user guide above, right here, every page in PubMed has a link to help, which is on the bottom right, where you can write, it'll go, you can write to the NLM help desk right here, which is on the top right of the page. And if you encounter something that isn't working, the help desk can also report issues to the PubMed development team as necessary. You can also search the knowledge base with questions about any NLM resource. And we also have resources available if you teach PubMed. These additional training resources are on the handout. So the training resources on your handout are built and vetted by experts at NLM, so you can be confident you're giving your learners accurate information about how PubMed works. Any questions so far?
I don't think so, but we'll wait a moment and and see. The two links I'm about to put into chat are also on your handout, but I do want to point them out. If you haven't already registered for the MESH medical subject headings class, that's next Wednesday. And then the week after that, on June 25th, is the automatic term mapping class, and you can register for that one as well. So, but those links are on your handout. Okay, let's see. So there's a question. If you have an NCBI account, how long can you see your history of saved searches? So if you save a search, if you actually go in and, well, and I shouldn't start talking. April, do you want to take that? I'm sorry, I started talking before
Yes,
you.
let me get back to the question too. If you have an NCBI account, how long can you see your history of saved searches? Oh man, from my experience, I can't remember how long they usually save.
Okay, so hold on. So things have changed, and I'm actually trying, give me 1 second while I log in, because I want to make sure I use the words that they use. So there's different things I think that we're talking about here. There used to be a section, and there's a section called saved searches, but you actually have to save a search. So if you go back to PubMed April and just, like run anything.
Yes. All right.
And so when you're logged in, and so then, saving, you're not logged in, but you would hit save at the top of the page here and save it to wherever. And let's see,
Right.
what are the format? Yeah.
Yeah, select some things.
Oh, that's for your own person,
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
If you Then, because I'm looking in, I signed into my NCBI and it says I don't have any saved searches and I'm going to manage my saved searches. So that's what I'm getting confused about. I'm trying to remember, but there used to be a feature in my NCBI when you're logged in called recent search history, and that would go back 6 months. That no longer exists anymore, I don't think. I think it's, well, I'm looking at it now. There is recent activity. So I'm sorry we're sort of goofing around here with these answers. See all recent activity. I thought, oh, I know they don't connect. It used to be it went back to 6 months. So that may be the case now as well. 6 months, but you have to log in. So that I believe is the answer. If you're logged in, does your history always save? Yes, if you're logged in, your history is saved because I'm looking at my, I'm logged in. I'm sorry you're not seeing what I'm looking at, but it shows what I did yesterday at 2:30 p.m. and last week, June 3rd. So, but that will drop off. It's going to cycle. Things will cycle out. Anthony's asks, I searched for nosebleed and there are no, okay, hold on. I search for nosebleed and there are no translations shown. If I search for nosebleeds and there are translations, any suggestions? So, Anthony, so well, if you would do that again, that search April nosebleed, and let's just see. Anthony, did you start in PubMed or did you start in Mesh by any chance? In PubMed. Okay. So now let's go to advanced and let's look and see what search details says. And if you'll click the chevron there. So I'm not sure why did you tag it in any way? So, and the reason I'm asking those questions is if you tag a term, and even if you tagged nosebleed as a mesh term, there won't be a translation because there's nothing to translate it to. Well, let's try what I just said. In that query box, April, if you'll type nosebleed and then just the query box, yeah. And then tag it, so square bracket, MH, square bracket, MH, and then close the bracket. And let's search for that, even though that's the entry term. And let's go to search details and see what happened. Well, so that's the only translation it did. It's translated from the entry term to the mesh term. And if we had searched epistaxis tagged as mesh, MH, I don't think there'd be a translation section. But generally, the translation section shows you a line-by-line explanation of your search, which is a little easier to read than some, if you've built a search that maybe includes 4 or 5 terms, your search details can get, with all the Booleans and the parentheses, can get kind of messy. So the translations section is a little easier, but I'd be curious why it didn't show, why a translation section didn't show. So, okay. Thank you. It now worked when I tried. So, okay. So now it worked the way it's supposed to. Phew, we can all relax.
Yay.
And there's one other thing I wanted to show on this. If you could go back to the FAQ page or the user guide, click on that and go in there. Oh, however you want to get there. Because I know this gets me every time. So there's that big old search box at the top of the page. That isn't the box you use to search the user guide, but that box is there. And if you typed in, how to save searches, it would actually run that search in PubMed. So we're not going to do that because that's just going to run in PubMed. On a Windows machine, you'll do Control F, and you'll search the page. And I don't know what's find on a Mac, April.
Command F.
Command F. So that's how you use this page, either Control F or Command F to find what you want on the page. But I still sometimes, like when you're in a hurry, I'll just put something in that top search box. It's like, no, that's not right. Okay, let's see. Let me see. Got it. Okay. That's all in chat.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Something else came up. So La Charmaine, I'm not sure how to say your name, darling. Don't know. Are there training videos in PubMed? I feel like I stumbled on something like that in here. So the link it's on your, in that trainer's toolkit, if you go to that tab, and we have that link on additional resources. These are all, if you can see on the right, very far right column, those are videos. How to find an article on topic, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And
all very short.
Yeah, those are all real short. And then on the bottom, we have some that are SCORM packages. And those, if you have a learning management system, well, like I don't know what the current ones are in the academic field, but we use Moodle. There used to be Blackboard. I don't know what's out there anymore. You can actually import those, download the SCORM packages to your computer and then import them into your learning management system. So if you're a liaison for, a school of nursing class or what have you, you can set up some PubMed videos, and these would have like little quizzes built in. Yeah. And Linda says the training videos are great.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we've reached the end of our introduction to how PubMed works. We still have 2 more live sessions in this series, medical subject headings and automatic term mapping. As I mentioned, this and all other sessions in the series will be recorded and shared back. And I want to thank you for learning with us and joining us today.